Okay. All right, I'll call the June 20th meeting of the St. John Waterworks District to order. Please take roll.
Jim Zarnik.
Present.
Joan McInerney is absent. Ken Gambala.
Present.
Joe Wizawati.
Present.
Wayne Pondinas.
Present.
You have a quorum, but all votes need to be unanimous for the moment.
Okay. First on the agenda is the water main extension and gates. Which one of you want to do that one? I got mine on. Okay. You want to talk about it? Or?
Do you want to talk about it, or would you like me to talk about it?
Well, I can briefly talk about it, and Tom can take over. We had a meeting today. There's a three requests for purchase on there for $375,308.30. But through our meeting today that we had with Robinson and that, we're going to hold off on that because we're planning the water main project out there, and we're going to use item, and we're going to drop a plan, and Tom can take over from there. I don't want to take all his glory.
Yeah, if I can just talk before Tom takes that over. With respect to that, there is a portion of water main / sleeve that might be a critical component to this that needs to get taken care of because there's a roadway that's scheduled to go in. So we may slip a sleeve or something there. That way it's just basically there. So that way we don't tear up a brand new road.
Smart.
So, yeah, that might happen in between this meeting and the next meeting, but we'll let everyone know what's going on with that.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tom, I'm sorry.
I would say that we wait for project updates, because then Joan could be here and hear everything also. I think that's really important, too.
Yeah.
There's a lot that occurred the past couple of weeks regarding the pilot study, and a lot of great
A lot
news that we
today.
want to report on it.
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right. Sewer cleaner, if you go in, you should have a copy of the equipment quote for your sewer vac. I'm assuming it's a lease purchase. I'm assuming we don't have to have bids on it then. That's all the information is there. Wayne, you want to say something about it?
This is not the same truck that you looked at, but it's the same company, and it doesn't have some of the bells and whistles. The last one was a demonstrator truck, and we were going to get that, and they held off on it. Now, this could take maybe a year and a half, 2 years to get, and I think what's coming before you is this pamphlet, brochure on everything that's there. It's just a straight truck. It's all done through Sourcewell, so you don't have to have 3 bids. It's just a everyday truck. It's service truck, basically. It'll do everything, but it don't have all the extra lights and bells and whistles on it. It'll do what we want it to do.
Okay, it's
And the split would be 30% for water, 40% for sanitary, 30% for stormwater. So that's how it would be split out and apportioned. So it would be figured into next year's budget because it won't be delivered until next year at the earliest. And that's if we get a chassis and if. So what we're looking for is just to authorize us to move forward on the purchase so we can sign whatever we need to get, so we can order this thing, get a price locked in hopefully, and, bring the request to purchase back to the boards at a later date.
So my understanding was, when I met with Public Works to go on the tours, that the current unit was failing, needed $200,000 worth of repairs,
Which
yes?
Yeah, that's crazy, yeah.
And so this is 400,000-ish,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, you weren't here yet on the board, but we had an outside meeting with the demonstrator and all the Public Works people, so we need it. So,
I mean, the one we have is fine for very simple issues, but now it's starting to run into issues, mechanical issues, that it's gonna become nickel and dime, and then 200,000. So that was why we wanna move forward on this. And this was kind of part of the 5-year capital plan, as well, so it's kind of factored into that equation.
Okay, well, you got a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve and authorize the town manager to proceed with the purchase process for the Vector.
Okay, I'll second the motion. Since there's just 2 of us,
And we got Joe.
And Joan just walked in, yay!
let's finish this one. Take a roll call.
Hey, Joan. Yeah, just started, maybe 5 minutes.
Joan McInerney.
Here.
It is 5:18.
We're voting on this purchase.
It's just to move forward on the sewer vac truck.
So we have a motion?
I seconded it. I asked for roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear the roll call. Jim Zarnik,
Yes.
Joan McInerney,
Abstain. I didn't hear this.
Ken Gambala.
Yes. Motion carried.
Do we want to go back?
You want to go back to the minutes real quick, Ken?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we held the minutes till you got here.
Oh, okay.
So are there any corrections or additions to the May 16th minutes?
I did not have any.
You weren't here,
No.
so it's between the two of us if you want to make a motion.
I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the regular meeting of May 16th, 2023.
All right, then I'll second the motion. Roll call.
Jim Zarnik,
Abstain?
Joan McInerney,
Yes.
Ken Gambala.
Yes. Minutes passed. All right, then we'll get back to the regular agenda. Okay. Reports and correspondence.
Thank you, Mr. President. So what I passed out to all the board members was the water main plan set that also incorporates the sanitary sewer lift station abandonment for Acorn. We got the permit for Acorn, a lift station abandonment last week, and we're trying to pick bid dates. And what's, we gotta work this out, is that we were told by the corporation council, the town corporate council, that we need sewer board approval, water board approval, and town council approval. All three councils meet one time a week. I'm sorry, one time a month. So what we're looking at doing this, and we need to get the clerk's buy-in and also the town's corporation council, is open the bids on either the 18th or the 9th. I'm sorry, go to my calendar, folks. Opening the bids on the 17th or the morning of the 18th, to have a recommendation for the sewer and board meeting that evening on it. Right now, the cost estimate is 1.35, of which 1 million is the water main portion, and 350,000 is the sanitary sewer portion of it. So if we could do it in that manner and get your approval on it, then we could go to the town council meeting on the 26th and get their approval on it. So we have all three boards. Now, the other option too, if you're not comfortable with doing that,
where?
maybe we do a special meeting on the 19th for sewer and water boards, if the presidents agree to it, and then have that. I think we all know where the water's coming from. The water's coming out of the bond issue. Is that correct, Joe? So there's funding there set aside for it. The sewer, it's not coming out of the bond issue, Joe. I don't know where the sewer funding's coming from general fund or?
As far as sanitary, that would be coming out of the sanitary's utility.
Okay. So I think that's where we stand with it. If we don't do it in this method, we gotta wait to the August town council meeting to award it. Thank you, Jim. So that's what we're doing. So we're kind of breaking protocol here, folks. And the protocol is typically the bids are opened up at a town council meeting. And the town council has to agree to all this too. And you have to agree to all this. It's just the timing of it. We just got the permit last week, and it's just the way the timing worked out on it. So,
My opinion would be, I'm comfortable with Robinson being present to open the bids, do the evaluation, come armed with recommendations. that
Yeah,
evening.
I'll be here for the opening of the bids. The clerk's office, or a member of the clerk's office, or the clerk herself would be here for the opening of the bids as well.
and it's a public bid opening.
Yeah, it's
It
not a
would
public
occur in
meeting.
this room,
It's
it
just a
could be
public opening.
recorded. All the contractors could be in the audience viewing it. Any resident who wants to view it, or can view it at home if they want. You know, I think that, A lot of towns have their bid openings not on the day or the evening of the town council meeting. And with only meeting one time a month, it really saves 30 days on it too. And we don't like doing it a day or two beforehand, but just the way your schedules are working out, that's the way it kind of had to fall into place. We think it's a reasonable way to address it. So with all that said, we need your corporation council to give it the blessing, and we need the clerk's office to say it's okay, and we need to get the sanitary sewer board to say it's okay, and we need to get the town council to say it's okay.
That easy.
But the benefits are, you may have a completed job in this entire season, this construction season, as opposed to coming back in the spring to finish it. So that's what we're up against. And it's a permitting issue too, so that's one of the issues I want to talk about. Also, is there any questions on that? Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is that we got some fabulous results from the pilot study. We always knew the pilot study was looking good. They just finished it up last week also. They sent the information out to it, and it looks like we could load the filters. I'm going to give you a number. It may not mean much to you, but it's 6 gallons per square foot.
Can we kind of just reiterate, first of all, what's a pilot study?
Okay.
So that way, some people that aren't all that privy can get a better understanding of, just briefly.
Sure. In the past couple of years, the St. John wells have been having a sulfur smell coming in. And so we wanted to see if we could address the sulfur smell. We got two options, air scrubbing it out or using a media that could absorb it. Okay, and air scrubbing it out in a residential area doesn't work out too well because it just gets exhausted into the community, and the residents around there are going to smell, the expression is a rotten egg smell. I think we all smelled it in rural well communities where we see it. The other option, we had this media change out, and we know that we have 4 filters right now. There's 2 at the Monix treatment plant, and there's 2 at the Gates treatment plant, and both of them have standard sand filters in it. And so we wanted to see if we change that media out to what's called as an Oxy Plus 12 media that could absorb the sulfur, and also we could load it at a higher hydraulic loading rate. So that means we could get additional capacity by changing the media out. And so what we did with the pilot study is that we test pump 8, and we test pump well number 9, and we test pump well number 7. Well number 6 is literally feet from well number 7, so it's the same thing. And from this, we ran this little pilot bench test where we had the media in there where we were dumping water in a certain hydraulic loading rate, and it came back what the results are. And the results are that you could hydraulically load it at 6 gallons per square foot. And you're currently loading it somewhere in the range of 3 gallons per square foot. So you're going to be increasing this by doubling it, by changing the media out. You're thinking, well, that's great, but what is the cost? We got a cost on that right now, and the cost is probably about $400,000 a treatment plant to be doing this work. But in reality, you doubled your capacity. Now, if you had to build a 5-6 million gallon treatment plant, it could cost $7 or $8 million to build that. And by retrofitting the media in there, we could do this only at a range of around $900,000. The $900,000 has some major contingencies on it. We don't know what the interior of the filters look like. We won't know until they get all the media out. And what they'll do is they'll vacuum the media out, then we'll do an inspection in there. There has to be some kind of improvements on it. We need to get IDEM approval on it. Currently, IDEM is approving filters at the 10 state standards at 4 gallons per square foot. We're asking for 6. They recently kind of informally changed the rules saying they'll go 5 gallons per square foot, but asking for 6. Even if we get 5 gallons per square foot, it's a huge improvement for a modest amount of money. When I say, I don't like to think that $900,000 is a low amount, but compared to $6-7 million, it is a very, very low amount on it. We've had Peerless Midwest. We had a meeting. Mr. Pondinas was there. Mr. Wizawati was there. We talked it all out in the morning of how we wanted to address it. Our first approach, if you guys want us to do this, is to address it with IDEM. Talk to IDEM, show them the results of what we got, tell them what we want to, what we want to do and how we want to attack it. Then also bring them in on the big picture on the ground floor of the design, being a team player on this. We've already talked to them about it. They're excited about it. They like the fact that we're including them in the front end and not in the back end. So we're asking for a variance. And they've given this variance at 6 gallons per square foot to various communities in Indiana. So I think it's a win-win. I mean, I'm really, really proud of it. The fact that we're going to almost double your treatment plant capacity, and that is what's been your controlling factor on your water system. It's not your wells, it's your treatment plant capacity. I mean, you could have all the capacity you want in your wells, but if you can't get it through your filters in time, you can't use that amount. So I think it's good. So right now, we're at the preliminary stage of it. We got the reports. I'll be happy to send all these reports over to you if you want them. But if you don't, I mean, we can just let you know what we're gonna do. Our goal is the middle of July, have something ready for IDEM and have a meeting set up with them on it too. And like I said, we already talked to them. They already commended us for trying to get them on the ground floor of this. And I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, and
The
ideally,
bottom line is with them, I mean, we have to get their approval to
Right,
do anything.
right. And so, President, here's the thing. Even if they say, we're not comfortable with 6, we'll go 5, it's still a major win. It's still a major win for you. So,
and adding wells 8 and 9 and the additional treatment capacity, that brings us up to essentially to par.
oh,
So
it
we're
brings
not,
you,
we're not behind the curve. So,
it brings you don't need Sherrville's connection anymore,
Right.
which we do not recommend you disconnect from Sherrville. You keep that in there, but it takes you away from them. And that's a great point. In 2022, the town spent $660,000 on water purchase from Sherrville. This project will almost pay for itself in a year and a half.
yeah.
I mean, it's just like you envision this kind of stuff could be happening, and it's happening. And we got all the ducks in a row. We got the pilot study to back it up. We got item, verbal, this is a great idea. Show me the paperwork. And now we're going to be showing the paperwork part of it now. So,
The reason we connected with Charterville originally was for emergency.
And that's
Not
why we
for
would not
additional water.
disconnect it, yeah.
That just happened
Yeah.
because
Right.
of our capacity, but we did it and spent the money in case there was something, we lost the well,
Right.
something happened,
makes perfect sense too, sir. Yeah.
So just one question. So going from 5 to 6, what is IDEM's perspective on the risks that we incur from?
Well, I think there is not a risk for them. It's an operational issue. You're going to be watching the quality of the water as it's leaving on it too. And also, when you go to, it means you had to backwash a little bit more on it too, to get the filtrate material off of the top on it. But that's something the operators are going to do. And the operators don't have to run it at 6 gallons per square foot. In the winter, they may not. They may run it at 4 or 2 or 3. And then in the summer, when they need it, they know that they have it there for them too. And I think it's important that we get this justified and permitted through IDEM, so IDEM can see that we now have, for example, 10 million gallons of treatment plant capacity. And that's what we have now, and that's what our controlling factor is. I don't think anybody looked in the past at what the controlling factor was, the treatment plants. They looked at what the firm capacity of the well system was, and that's an easy mistake to make. But now, knowing that all these wells have to go through this treatment plant, the treatment plant is what the control is.
So I would like a copy of the pilot test results.
Absolutely, I'll send it to the entire board, everything we got on it
Like
too.
that. And then, so the $400,000 per treatment plant, that's.
$450.
It's like 450.
450, thank you. That's installed?
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah.
So, Jim, just so you know how we did this, because we don't know, there's a lot of unknowns. We got a price for the media, the Oxy Plus 12, and that price came out to be $255,000 about. And we got a price for Peerless Midwest, has been doing all your maintenance in the pilot study on your filters to vacuum it out, come back in there and put the new media in the proper layer gradation. And then we also got a price in there for unknowns. And the unknowns, we added 40% to the price.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if it's 30%, I don't know if it's 60%. We won't know the condition of the filters till the media is vacuumed out and we can see the condition of the
Yeah,
filters.
and we already anticipate that there's going to be some maintenance issues.
Yeah, we think there's definitely painting and corrosion, no doubt about that. I've been in some of these filters before where there's been some bent metal in there from pressure surges. There are no real moving parts on these filters. They're like static and solid, but we'll see how it goes, And when it does, keep our fingers crossed that we'll get the 6 gallons per square foot and we'll be able to do this work. We could do this one filter at a time. So like say you got, Monix has got 2 filters, you take one filter out, retrofit it, still run water through the other filter. Then from there, you jump over to Gates, you do one filter, then from there, you jump back to Monix. These filters need time to settle out before you take them, before you start to fully go align with them. And like that time frame in there. We think the work could occur sometime in the fall and be finished before the spring. It's like things are working out in line, So
Whose idea was the pilot study?
The pilot study came from the Public Works. That was before Robinson was here.
Right.
Well, then when we started talking about it, we started talking about, let's look at the bigger picture on this, on how to get your firm capacity up. And that's where it came from. So there's additional work that's got to be done on the plants. We got to see what's going to happen to the internal working of the plants with the additional water being pushed through it. There's a thing called head loss associated with it, and we got to see what the head loss is, and the head loss can determine what the flow is going to come out of it. And that's what we got to do next on it. Because really, we could be doubling the water flow through this piping, and this piping wasn't designed to be double for water flow. But like I said, it's that way during peak days, which could be 30 days a year, but it could be normal flows the rest of the year, you know? So to go a little bit outside your comfort range with the velocity for short periods of time is not that bad. If it's every day, it's a bad thing. So,
We probably gonna have a problem. Monix plant was our first one. That thing's been here a long time. So I would suspect you're gonna have to get the most issues out of that one.
Yeah, I think that was where we were looking at starting the process,
Yeah, it's-
changing out media.
Okay. Question? More?
Fantastic news. Great
Yeah,
job,
that's
Tom.
great.
let's keep our fingers crossed. We're like, I say, at the 20-yard line, and we got another 80 more yards to go. You know? We're not going to punch it across the finish line now. But it's good plan. And it's good to know that it's being addressed, and that hopefully next summer, you won't be spending any money with Cherville and water, you know?
You play for the Bears, huh?
Yes.
What else you got for us?
That's all I have, sir.
Okay.
Just one other question. Does Peerless have any other customers that are using,
Yes,
like
they
the
do.
same?
They've listed off 5 different towns. One was, Wayne, you were there.
Brownsville?
Brownsville had a certain airstrip or
Brownsburg.
they're talking.
Brownsburg.
Augsburg. Yeah.
But there was other towns that they'd done it for, so this is not gonna be the first time that
Okay.
they saw it.
They have
And
been an excellent partner on this thing. They really have.
It's a good way of putting it, calling a partner
I'm very
too.
impressed with
Yeah.
what they've been doing.
Yeah,
Nice. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay, town up.
The only other thing that, I think everything's gonna happen in the fall, the 2 altitude valves that you guys bought.
Yeah, that Stell's gonna blast.
We have them, and that Robinson's gonna get the permit. I think it's gonna be all one big thing when they go down there to Indianapolis. It'll be the altitude valves, it'll be the plan, and what we're gonna do with the water main and everything, and they'll have it all in their lap at one time.
Right. Can I add a little bit to that, Mr. Pungy?
Sure.
IDEM is not happy with the fact that we're reliant on another community for shaving off our peak days. And they have said to us, at a moment's notice, they could turn us off because they got to take care of their customers first, which is rightly so. If you were in a water emergency and they were in a water emergency, I don't think you can send water over to them. You take care of your own customers. And this is gonna be something they're looking forward to. And when they talked to me about this in the beginning, that's one of the things they brought up in our response, and we are addressing that. You know, this is gonna be set up so that this emergency connection go both ways, as opposed to just Cherville coming here, we could go that way in the event that they come in emergency.
You could show them we're not sitting on it, because we're spending the money, getting it done.
Right.
Yeah, and we're losing money by buying water. Plus, we're paying to have it treated back to them. So it's a double whammy as far as that goes. All right, town manager.
I have no report this evening. I mean, I think we kind of covered a lot of the stuff that we've been working together as a team on, so no need to beat the dead horse.
Does the board have any other questions on projects?
No, do not.
All right, payment of the bills, the staff recommended that we table request to purchase those three requests to purchase.
Oh, with that said, just so you know, folks, and I was kind of explaining to them, we may be in a situation where we need to move forward on getting a sleeve or a connection underneath a road that's going to be put in, so we don't have to tear up the road later. So that might happen before your next meeting. Just letting you guys know that might be something we're going to be addressing in the interim. But I will email you guys just to let you know and keep you in the loop on that.
Would Public Works do that?
I don't know. That's a whole nother question. I would not think so.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we want to make sure that it gets in place so they can put their road in. That's the most critical component. But yeah, and to your point, the recommendation is to table those three right now.
And we'll skip over to.
But you can have those obviously for your information Those are part of the same project, just so you know. The interconnection for well 9.
All right, then we got item B, which is Water District vouchers for $31,723.52. Any questions?
No.
No, I did not.
Okay, motion to approve.
So moved.
I second it.
All right, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. And then we have the water utility for the town vouchers for $468,306.45. Any questions?
Just one. So, Public Works / Joe, you guys are good with releasing the retainage on the SCADA project?
Yes, that's a good question. So we had Robinson take a look at the entire SCADA project to make sure that everything was done. It was completed, everything. We have no problems with that. The SCADA project was completed. Everything that the town had in the bid was completed per the bid, and we have no objection to releasing those funds. They delivered all the deliverables on it in terms of additional components and
Extra parts or spare parts?
yeah. So
I
all
got
all that's been
This is
confirmed.
a
and
54-page
delivered.
report that they did.
Yeah.
So we just had a meeting with Russ, and I said, we're going to take you out to one, and we'll take you out to a treatment plant. We probably had a 2-hour meeting. He says everything is fine. They've done a good job.
Yeah.
He's happy with it, and he said that should be it. You know.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
No, that's a good question.
And I can confirm that Verizon did receive the 10-year prepayment. They called me to verify, what was going on because they generally don't deal with large sums of money like that. So I had to explain everything to them, and they're fine with it.
So we got a massive credit with them.
Correct.
Okay.
I did have a question on the last page, B&I fund. The 52,316, it says water transfer to B&I June 2023?
Oh, that's for the bond payment, and interest?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. That's on the water bond.
No more questions, just motion.
So moved.
A second?
Okay, motion and second. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Okay, bills paid. Public comment for the Water District. Entertainment, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye, meeting adjourned.
We're good.